Now, there's a third type of person that we read about in this passage. Jesus said there's some type of people, they hear, but they don't bear any fruit. It's kind of like this thorny ground over here. You know, the dirt was good enough for weeds and thorns to grow up, but it wasn't really set up to produce much fruit. This third type of person represented in the story is represented by thorny ground. It says when a plant is just tender, it gets choked out and it doesn't survive. Jesus said this represents people who hear the message of Jesus Christ. They get excited. But then that message is choked out by three things: by the cares of this world, by the lure of wealth, and by the desire for other things. By the desire for other things. I always get worried whenever I talk to somebody and they got a story that's Jesus and something else. Like they need Jesus and a spouse. They need Jesus and a certain amount of money. They need Jesus and a certain job, career, fame. They need Jesus and a certain position or recognition. If Jesus isn't enough, then nothing's ever going to be enough because you're taken away. You're choked out by the desire for other things. See, that word choked, that word crowded out, in the Greek language is a very specific word that gives us a word picture. And the picture it gives us is of a crowd of people coming against one person, so much so that they get overwhelmed by the crowd and that they are literally choked. It's not a picture of like a person violently choking another person. It's a picture of subtly, little by little, more and more pressure, and then that person just caves under all that pressure. It's kind of like a celebrity getting stalked by the paparazzi. You know, if the paparazzi stalks a celebrity, it's just a matter of time before that person will lose their mind. You know what I'm talking about? You'll see it. You see these celebrities, especially these young girls, lose their mind. Why? Because nobody can handle. You're not built to handle that kind of pressure. It's a slow death. It's a subtle death, and it kills what God's trying to do in your life. Now, the first thing it says some people are choked out by the lure of wealth. The lure of wealth. 1 Timothy 6:10 says that the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. It's through craving money that some have wandered away from the faith and have pierced themselves with many pangs. There are many people today who believe that money will solve all their problems. Can I get an amen right there? Amen. It's what I call the lottery syndrome. I drive past the Powerball sign on my way to work every day. I see it go up and down. And it's funny because the higher the Powerball number gets, the more people play it. There's some people who's like, 40 million, that's not really worth playing, but 400, I'll play on that. And it's this philosophy and mindset that if I just had money, all of my problems would be solved and would go away. And there's a lot of people who become Christians. They want to follow the Lord. They start getting involved in church. They say, man, I want to do the Lord's will. And then all of a sudden, the lure of money comes along, and they're led astray. They go off a different path. These people desire money, wealth, possessions, and they believe that it's the pathway to happiness. There's another group that he talks about, which is they're taken astray by the lies of the world. Do you know that the world will lie to you? Did you know that? The world lies to you? Jesus said, in the Bible it says, 1 John chapter 2, John writing, he said, don't love this world nor the things it offers you, for when you love the world, you do not have the love of the Father in you. For the world only offers a craving for physical pleasure, a craving for everything we see, and the pride in our achievements and possessions. These are not from the Father, they're from the world. It's amazing how deceptive the world is. Have you ever thought the grass looks greener on the other side? And then you got to the other side and realized they had artificial turf over there. It wasn't even real. I remember one time I was a teenager, I went and visited a friend, and I was sitting down, and he was getting ready. I was talking to his mom, who was in the kitchen, and I was at the table, and they had this bowl of grapes on the table. And the grapes looked good, so I reached out and grabbed the grape while she was talking to me, and I threw it in my mouth. One problem: rubber grapes. You ever see that fake fruit? You know what I'm talking about? I mean, it looked good. It looked real. So I popped it in my mouth. I started chewing, and then I realized this is a rubber grape. So now I'm in what you call a dilemma. What do? Do I spit it out? Do I admit publicly that I've eaten a rubber grape? Do I admit I'm that stupid? So I just swallowed it. You know, the world's deceptive like that. It looks good. It looks enticing. It's like, man, this is going to be good. These grapes are going to be rolling. These are the most perfect grapes I've ever seen in my whole life. It was a lie. If that ever happened to you, you thought a job was going to be the perfect job, and you didn't know that the boss was full of demons, and he was crazy, and he done lost his dang mind, and you didn't know that, nobody told you. You ever thought that you were going to be in a scenario and everything, you had a relationship, and you, man, this is the perfect relationship. This person's perfect. And then 3 months in, they turned out to be crazy. You find out they've been engaged 11 times. Nobody told you. Man, I thought this was good. I thought this was the right. It deceived you. It deceived you. You know, you ever bought something and you thought, man, this is going to be perfect. This is just what I need. And then all of a sudden, you had to fix it, or you lost it, or it broke, or you realize, you know, it's amazing. They got people that have bought stuff on credit. They still paying for, and they don't even have it no more. Because the world's deceptive like that, man. You got to have this right now. You got to have this right now. My wife gets mad at me all the time because every time we go into a store and you go to check out, you know what they want you to do, right? Man, do you know you could save 5% on your whole purchase today if you sign up for a new Gap card, a new Banana Republic card, a new Scentsy card, a new Claire's card? It don't matter what everybody's got a card. And what do they throw on you? You can just save 5% today. Yeah, what's the interest rate? 27.5%? I'm going to pass on that, Jack. But the world's a lie. It'll get you like that. See, some people, man, they're choked out by the cares of this world, by the lure of wealth, and by the desire for other